watching the nation's best college newscast. 11 News at Noon starts now.
Daughters testify. Martin McNeil's own children take the stand to talk about their mother's murder.
Technology upgrade. How new grant money is helping a local library keep up with customer demands.
And seasonal sneezes. Temperatures drop, leaves change color, and throats get itchy. How to deal with autumn allergies. I'm Matt Rascone.
And I'm Christy Jacinto. Welcome to 11 News at Noon. The Martin McNeil murder trial took a personal turn today.
His own daughters are testifying about their mother's murder and not on his behalf. Most of the questions they faced in court this morning were about the way they found their mother the day she died. McNeil's oldest daughter, Alexis Summers, took the stand first. The defense questioned the way she may have been influencing her younger sister's testimonies. She was open about her belief in her father's guilt.
Ever since the day my mom died, I was concerned that my father killed her.
McNeil's second oldest daughter, Rachel, is testifying right now, and later the judge will determine if he'll let McNeil's youngest daughter testify. Ada McNeil was only 6 when she found her mother dead in a bathtub, and the judge has to decide if the now 12-year-old is qualified enough to take the stand.
The man convicted of killing a BYU professor now has a second chance to appeal his 25-year-to-life sentence. Benjamin Reddick is serving time for the murder of Kay Mortensen back in December 2011. The court denied his original appeal, coming in after the 30-day deadline. Reddick's attorney argued it was late due to the mail system. Judge Lowe agreed, and once he signs the order, Reddick has 30 days to reappeal. Salem Library is using an $8,000 grant from the Utah State Library to improve their technology. 11 News reporter Andrea May tells us how this extra money will give library goers more computer access.
Computers, tablets, and new software are 3 things the library will purchase with the grant. The library says they are hoping this new technology will upgrade their small-town institution into a more tech-savvy media center. These computers in Salem's library are used for anything from homework to household business. Sufi Christensen uses the computers at the library regularly because she doesn't have the internet in her home. But she and others sometimes have to wait for a computer because of the high demand.
And if you go when the kids are out of school, sometimes all the computers are full and so you have to wait. Sometimes the kids are just playing games on the computers and you really have to do business, so that's sometimes an inconvenience.
The librarian says computer usage at the library has gone up 30% in the past year. This is one of the reasons the library applied for a grant from the Utah State Library. The grant money will buy 3 PCs, 2 Macs, and several tablets. Along with a shorter wait time to use a computer, the librarian says she hopes the additional technology will make it possible to have programs for people who want to become more computer literate.
We have people come in who want to know the basics of just how to send an email, and they need a quiet space where they can sit and learn.
This new program and the decreased wait time are some things that Sufi and other visitors of the library have to look forward to as the new computers arrive. The library says they plan on purchasing the computers in December to have them ready for the visitors sometime in the beginning of next year. Matt?
Thanks, Andrea. A law regulating auto repair shops within Alpine city limits is now under review. City officials are trying to amend zoning ordinances to legally allow auto shops to be in business. Shops currently operating within city limits are breaking a city code that no one has bothered to enforce. Some people who live in Alpine are worried changing the ordinances might mean junk cars will be lying around the city. A 61-year-old man wrecked his car on Provo Center Street yesterday after veering off the overpass ramp from the freeway. Highway Patrol says the man crashed into the exit sign and hit a fence line. Officials say the man was transported to the hospital with minimal injuries, and so far he doesn't remember the crash or what caused it.
Sneezing, coughing, and itchy eyes are a nuisance for any allergy sufferer, especially for those who just want to soak up the last days of sunshine and warm weather. 11 News reporter Jenilyn Theria tells us how to deal with these seasonal symptoms.
Everyone wants to be outside in the leaves before the weather turns cold. But a doctor I spoke with says that for allergies, the fall scenery is the biggest culprit. The crunch of fallen leaves usually means fall-time fun. But for people with allergies like Devin Squires, this time of the year can be a season of suffering.
My fall allergies are terrible. My throat itches, my nose runs.
Allergists say that mold is to blame. When piled up leaves get wet, they grow mold spores. These little spores can float through the air and annoy people who breathe them in. Doctors say that pollen is another irritant. Certain weeds release pollen, it sticks to falling leaves, and people kick it up when they walk through them and rake their yards. Allergists say pollen can make its way inside your house as well.
People having a bad time in August and September, and then they're starting to get better, and then they turn on the furnace, and all of a sudden they're sneezing their head off.
Dr. Matheson says this is because heating vents collect lots of pollen when they're not in use, and that it's a good idea to clean them out every year. He also says you should talk to your doctor or local allergist, especially if your symptoms are serious. The good news? Dr. Matheson says that once the weather turns colder, mold and pollen can't blow around, and that is something that Squire says he's looking forward to.
And once winter's here, then I'm good. I'm happier, I'm healthier.
There's if you're worried about the cost in buying treatment for your fall allergies, Dr. Matheson says that you can go to stores like Costco or Sam's Club, and you can get the pill for about 4 cents each. Matt?
There's a recent opening in the Provo City School District. The current representative of District 3 is resigning. The position serves the students of Wasatch Elementary School, and the school board needs to fill the vacancy no later than December 31st. The school board will review applications on Monday, November 11th, followed by a later interview with the Board of Education.
When 11 News at Noon returns, security secrets. German leaders are questioning President Obama's monitoring tactics, but the White House says there's no foul play.
And Good Samaritans. 2 cops were in the right place at the right time. How they saved a teen's life on the side of the road. Stay with
German and U.S. relations are on edge today after German officials got intelligence saying the U.S. might have monitored German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cell phone. President Obama called the German Chancellor to clear the air. Merkel says that any monitoring needs to stop. The White House says it has not and will not monitor Merkel's communication.
The U.S. is reviewing the way that we gather intelligence to ensure that we properly balance the security concerns of our citizens and allies with the privacy concerns that all people share.
This is not the first time Obama and Merkel have had talks about security. They spoke in June about spying after a former NSA contractor leaked information about the U.S. surveillance programs.
A Massachusetts community mourns the loss of a beloved teacher. State troopers say a special needs child on a New Jersey special needs child on a New Jersey highway, and a 300-pound bear visits a Florida dental office. Here's your look at news from across the nation. Friends, family, and students are mourning the death of high school math teacher Colleen Ritzer. Police found Ritzer's body in the woods near the high school in Massachusetts, where she taught freshmen. Police suspect one of her 14-year-old students murdered her, but the investigation is still ongoing. Ritzer's colleagues and students say she was bubbly and enthusiastic. A 13-year-old boy is still alive thanks to New Jersey state troopers. The special needs boy was choking on food on the side of the highway, and his parents were struggling to save him. The officers showed up in time to perform the Heimlich maneuver, and shortly after, he was breathing again. The boy did not need any further medical attention. Patients at a dental office in Florida have one more reason to delay their next cleaning. A 300-pound black bear climbed a tree near the entrance of the dental office, making customers hesitant to go inside or leave. The bear climbed down the tree shortly after 12:30 p.m. and ran off. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Christy?
Thanks. A presentation from 4th graders at Monroe Elementary inspired Governor Herbert to try to change the Utah state tree. Herbert wants to change the state tree from the Colorado blue spruce to the quaking aspen. He says the elementary students were very persuasive. Senator Ralph Okerlund and Representative Spencer Cox will sponsor the bill, and lawmakers will vote during the winter legislation session. And Chris, talking about aspen, I've noticed that as it gets chillier, the leaves are continuing to fall. What are we going to be seeing with the weather this week?
Yeah, well, we're going to be seeing some more days like we've had today in the past couple days, but something will change. And I'll tell you what, I'm okay with aspens. They're my favorites. Your 11 News weather. Hello, it's a gorgeous day so far today, and it will continue to be at least for most of the state. We could see a few clouds start to drift in later today. If you take a look outside, you've got the trees here right by BYU campus, and they're all changing colors. In fact, actually, the only precipitation we've really had has been the leaves coming down on a steady rate for sure. Currently, temperature is about 46. That's a little outdated. It's actually more about 51 degrees right now. And so with that, humidity is a little bit less than 50%. It was 57 earlier, but it drops as the temperature goes up. And then wind speed has been calm to variable. Right now, we're not really seeing any winds here in Provo, but we could see a little bit later on this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of about 41 degrees. And the reason is, again, some clouds are going to be drifting in. But what that cloud cover does is we're not going to get into the 30s like we typically do because it acts like a blanket. Cloud cover actually does keep the heat in. So one perk to having a cloudy night is you don't have to scrape your windshield off in the morning. And I'll tell you what, I am okay with that. State highs throughout the state, mostly 60s, a few 70s on the map. You can see 68, 68, 69 throughout the Wasatch Front. Moab and St. George at 73 and 76 respectively. And as you head farther south, you are going to see some more clouds because southern Utah, at least for tonight, has a chance of a few scattered showers. Overnight lows, generally speaking, aren't actually as cold as we've been seeing. Even Logan, typically a cold spot, is only at dipping down to 34. And if you take a look at southern Utah, St. George down to 48. And again, there will be showers starting out in the early evening, late afternoon, early evening for southwestern Utah, but then they'll drift in places like San Juan County, Blanding. They have about a 30% chance of showers after midnight or so. Southern Utah, again, 76 today, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 77. And then if we take a look at Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 77, 79, and then it dips down a little bit on Monday to 72. And northern Utah, fairly similar story, though we're going to be seeing a little bit more action come Monday. Temperatures 69, 67 today and Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday look to be gorgeous, but come Monday, we could be seeing a few showers.
So no snow, because I noticed it was like 31 degree low.
Not quite. They are saying by Tuesday, though, we could be seeing some snow get down to about 5,500 feet or so. So like the benches, probably by Tuesday could see a little bit, but yeah.
Thanks, Chris. And Clark, I mean, we've got basketball coming, or basketball's just started up. We have the Boise State game this week. We've got a lot going on in sports.
Yeah, it should be a good one tomorrow night against the Broncos, but I got a basketball Jones. I'm really happy that Hoops is back. Next on sports, tepid tip-off. It don't matter if you're blue or white. BYU had a tough time putting the ball in the hole at last night's Cougar tip-off. Find out what positives came from the scrimmage. And world domination. Round 1 of Beards versus Birds was a no contest. We'll tell you which side now enjoys a 1-0 series lead. Sports is... It's been a long off-season, but the Marriott Center was back in action last night for some BYU basketball. Cougar fans, it's time. A lot of newcomers made their debut at the blue-white scrimmage, perhaps none more impressive than JUCO transfer Skylar Halford. The junior sharpshooter was one of 5 Cougars in double figures in what was a pretty ugly game overall. Backcourt combo Matt Carlino and Tyler Hawes showed off their potential as well. Carlino led all scorers with 17, and Hawes looks like he hasn't lost a step, coasting to 14 points. BYU's next task is to get everyone else up to speed. The white team won 60-39, and BYU looks forward to their next exhibition Saturday against Colorado College. It seems like every week we talk about new accolades for senior stud Kyle Van Noy, and this week is no exception. Van Noy is one of only 20 defensive players in the nation on the Lott Impact Trophy quarterfinalist list. The Lott Impact Trophy is awarded annually to the player that best exhibits high character as well as defensive excellence. Past winners of the trophy include Luke Kuechly of the Carolina Panthers and J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans. The field will be narrowed to 8 semifinalists on November 13th. KVN dominates on the football field, but I'm not sure he'd do as well on an ice rink. Ice skating is a sport that many think of about once every 4 years, but as 11 Sports reporter Kathleen Keller shows us, the path to the top for competitive skaters requires daily commitment.
Jumps and spins don't sound like things the average person would want to attempt on a sheet of ice, but it's all just a typical day at the rink for a competitive ice skater.
You can feel the wind rushing at you, and it's just, nothing's like it.
Angelica Thomas put on her first pair of skates at 10 years old. 3 years later, she's still skating.
My grandparents told me that they took me to the Olympics when I was just a toddler, and they're like, you just ate up the figure skating. You totally wanted to do it someday. And here I am.
Every day after school, Thomas laces up her skates and immediately gets to work.
I usually do a few laps to warm up in both directions. After that, I sometimes do like some moves in the field. I usually jump right into spins, and then I just go through all my jumps.
One of those jumps is the most difficult jump a skater can perform, the axel. The axel is the most difficult jump in figure skating because the skater takes off going forward and spins 1.5 times in the air before landing on one foot. Landing an axel is a milestone for skaters. Thomas can land one in the harness, but she wants to make it consistent so she can start working on double jumps.
There's like this mental block with that jump that people just take a long time to get over. It's only a half a turn more than any other single, but it's just so hard for people to kind of like get over the fear of doing it.
Skating every day doesn't leave much time to do anything else, so Thomas brings homework, family, and friends to the rink.
I bring my friends here during public and we just hang out, and it's really fun. So it sounds like it would take away from your friend life, but it doesn't have to.
But skating practice is more than just working on jumps and spins. It also becomes a therapy session.
I can't even say how many times I've had like a really rough day at school or at home, and then I just get on the ice, push it out of my mind, and I skate.
Thomas's ultimate goal is to go to the Olympics. She knows it won't be easy, but Thomas says her drive and determination can help her dream come true. In Provo, Kathleen Keller, 11 News.
Angelica isn't the only skater with Olympic dreams. Top-level skaters are in the middle of qualifying for nationals in January and then possibly the Winter Games in Sochi. They're calling it Birds versus Beards. The Furry Red Sox hosting the Cardinals for Game 1 of the World Series. Let's get to it. Sox catch a break early. Runners on first and second. Big Papi obliges with the double play ball. Pete Cosma, boy. Runner at second originally called out, but look again. The ball clearly never makes it in his glove. Runner called back. Everybody's safe. Next batter, Mike Napoli. Beardedly clutch. Napoli sends it to the gap, and all three runners are around to score. Boston leads 3-0. Things looking equally dicey for the Redbirds in the second. Bases juice for David Ortiz. Remember that grand slam he hit in the ALCS? Do I hear encore? Way back. Psych. Carlos Beltran with the catch of the homer into a sac fly. Beltran would leave the game with bruised ribs. He's day-to-day. St. Louis had their chance in the fifth. David Freese with the bases loaded. And that's the anti-clutch. They call that a 1-2-3 double play, and the Cards are left off the board. Ortiz would get another chance at a long ball in the seventh, and you ain't catching that one. Papi hit that ball wicked hard. That's going to seal it. Game, Beards. Boston dominates the World Series opener, 8-1. And guys, just around campus last 2 days, I've seen more Red Sox fans in Utah than I ever thought I would ever see.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens when they're doing really well.
Yeah, kind of nice to be in bandwagoners sometimes.
Yeah. Thanks, Clark. Still to come on 11 News at noon, Cash K9. A dog in Houston was so hungry he ate $54 in cash. What the owner did to get the money back.
When a Houston pet owner found Cash missing from her bedroom, it didn't take long to find the culprit. Her dog Misty eats everything from Barbie dolls to Walmart plastic bags. But when she got into her owner's secret stash, she finally went too far. Gianna Caserta has the story.
Here's the $2 bill. There's another $5. It was kind of ripped up. And then the rest are ones. And as you can see, they're almost entirely intact.
Cindy still can't believe this mountain of cash was in her dog's stomach just a few days ago. While she was at the grocery store Friday, 5-year-old Misty got into this tin filled with cash and ate $54.
I threw both the dogs, I have Misty and a little Yorkie, into the bedroom. And I said, I'll feed you when I get back.
Well, Misty apparently couldn't wait that long and started eating money that was inside a tin in the bedroom.
Looked in there and all the bills were gone.
Worried the money would get caught in her stomach, Cindy brought Misty to the vet where they found the wad of cash on an x-ray.
Cash is sort of strange, and so my feeling is there must have been something on it, Someone had spilled something on it. It had a flavor that made the dog want to eat it.
The vet gave Misty medicine to induce vomiting.
And she eventually just vomited like $18, and the vet called me and said, yeah, you know, she vomited like $18. I said, oh, that's great.
And eventually, Cindy got all of her money back.
I said to the vet, can I pay you in cash?
Even though I'd want that much money back, I don't know if I'd want it after it's in my dog's stomach.
It's kind of gross. Yeah, I know. I'm wondering if they'll, you know, the person they actually give that cash to, they're not going to know the story behind it. It'll be funny.
That's just weird.
Who keeps cash on the floor? Put it up.
That's 11 News at noon for Thursday, October 24th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.